Climate risk for companies are still a blind spot. Most companies are only looking at climate risk because of regulatory pressure. SMEs, they don't have that resilience, so a climate risk could actually put the business at loss. However, we see organizations starting to understand that climate risk is not a reactive thing, but a proactive thing, and putting it in their operational frameworks.
I think entrepreneurs of all kinds are increasingly aware that climate risk and its impact, it's no longer a long-term issue. And if they take it into account from the beginning in how they plan their operations and they bake it into the processes, really allow them to mitigate the worst impact in the very short term.
For the travel and tourism sector, climate change is its number one risk. So it is not a novelty that acting towards climate change now is a necessity. Really, the cost of inaction is much higher than the cost of action. And if a proactive approach towards climate is taken, and we're really proving the business case that moving into a clear financial modeling on how to approach climate and take the right decisions really means that taking action now is not a cost, but it's an investment for the future.
Many organizations still to decide to go for the shorter term or the longer term stuff that is potentially more important but less urgent.
We're looking at data centers today, and of course the energy consumption, the huge amounts of energy being consumed relatively 24/7. The thing is, data centers can be a source of low impact growth for economies. If that energy is renewable, and if we participate in flexible services, we'll be able to give back to those local grids, reduce prices for consumers, and consume renewable energy.
Extreme climate events will continue to happen, only with more intensity and more frequently. And this is not in our hands. But what we can do is identify hazards, risks, and vulnerability, and define adaptation plans to reduce the exposure to climate risks and thus to financial risks.
So I think one of the reasons why even leadership companies still struggle to understand the level of risk they face, the exposure they face, and so on, is that many of them still assume that somebody else somewhere is going to do this for them. Governments are going to step in and sort it out. Insurance companies are going to step in and sort it out. And I think what we're finding, for the moment at least, that's not happening. And therefore it's coming down to a much more granular level of what do you as a business understand to be the risks that you now face, and what are you going to do about them?